Shalom. As always, all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rukar Kudash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Moonstone. Peace and salutations to you elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this one will be edifying and quick. This video is inspired by this video right here that the brother Amon Gabar posted, so I'm going to go ahead and play.
Today marks a historic step forward in our national security. Let's go live to reporter Sarah Martinez at the Registration Center downtown.
More than 50,000 people have come here this morning to register. This is the future of secure identification,
linking identity, healthcare, and payments in one verified system.
When the mark of the beast is introduced, countries will present it as a matter of national security. Every financial institution, from the banks, hospital, and even supermarkets, will state that it is a requirement that you have the mark.
I'm sorry, but without the mark, we can no longer provide you access.
Banks won't allow you to access any funds without it, and supermarkets won't allow you to purchase any goods without it.
You'll need to get registered before you can shop here, sir.
Hospitals won't treat any patient who hasn't been marked.
I'm sorry, ma'am, we can't proceed without your digital mark.
The mark of the beast won't be branded as evil. No, the mark will be incentivized. Early takers will be offered discounts and access to
mark.
The mark of the beast won't be branded as evil. No, the mark will be incentivized. Early takers will be offered discounts and access to products and services. Then, gradually, those benefits will be exclusive, only to be available for the marked. They'll call it modern convenience. You'll call it a small price to pay, until the day you can't eat without it.
Alright, so I'll stop it there for now. So I was reading Psalms 141, and when I came upon the last couple of verses, I remembered that specific video. The thing is this whole thing with the national ID and all these different things that are part of the gradualization of the MOTB, the actual mark, they're all traps, right? So let me start at verse 9. This is Psalms 141, verse 9. It says, "Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity," right? So ultimately the elect will have this mindset to be praying, to be protected and kept from these traps. So when you go into the word itself, because we know what snares mean, traps, but the word jinn as well, it goes into spirits as well, in a sense, evil spirits. However, in this sense, it's talking about the trapping, the baiting, the snares. When you go into the root word, this devil wants to catch you, right? He's not trying to help any of us. He's not trying to give us a situation that actually benefits us. It's all about control and being like God, knowing your ins and outs more than what he already knows. He wants to know what you're doing 24/7 and have more control over your life than he already has right now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, because the earth is given into his hands. However, when you go into the root word,
Strong's H3369, Yakosh.
This is a root word of let's go back of
Strong's H4170, Mokesh.
And that's the root
Mokesh.
word. That's the Hebrew word for jinn, right? But the root word says to lure, to entice, lay a snare, which is a trap, or lure, set a trap. This is the example that I wanted to read. To lay snares of devices of wicked, right? So this national ID, is just a wicked device, to trap you people, to trap you tribes, to trap you nations, right? Especially you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. You are the ones that are being targeted, right? Along with the other nations, right? However, let me see what else I have in this verse. It says, verse 10 says, let the wicked fall into their own nets, while that I will withal escape. Right. So ultimately the elect is not going to be caught in this mess. They're not going to be deceived, but the wicked will actually fall into their own trap, because their plan to see hip the whole world will not be successful. Yes, they're going to get to the point where this is mandatory and people are marked and have that device in them. What I mean by success is that it's not going to be for a long time. It's going to be for a very short time, according to prophecy, right? Because the scriptures tell you that the triumph of the wicked is short. They imagine that their house is going to go on forever, but it's not. It's going to be for a short time. The Lord is deceiving them into thinking that they're going to achieve these things, but they're not going to. And I've been reading a lot of Psalms, King David praying, for that protection and the deliverance from the wicked. Even King David himself prayed and said, deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword. But let me see what I got here. I got let me read this. So this is Matthew chapter 24 verse 24. It said, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. You have Synchron, you have Neuralink. These miracles of the beast. These BMIs, these brain machine interfaces, these BCIs, brain computer interfaces. Same thing, same device, which is talking about the mark in the forehead, right? Along with other RFID technology that you can also implant in your forehead, in your head, or wherever you like to place it, right? And it says, and shall show great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. And that's the thing, the elect will never be deceived. We know this is not these national IDs are not, it's not actually the mark of the beast. It's just a part of that gradualization. And it's a part of, this term that I came across, a couple of months ago, ultimate convenience. So people are in love with the ultimate conveniency of things. So when you go into that word, it says the highest degree of ease, accessibility, suitability for use, offering the best possible experience with minimal effort and maximum comfort. It signifies a situation or service that is supremely convenient, free from hassle. You see that key, free from hassle, allows for easy and effortless accomplishments. So that's the thing. This devil is going to make things in a way where if you don't comply with his system and how he has set up things to be, whether it's an ID, whether it's and when it reaches to a physical thing like a implant that you have to put in your body to function in society, people are going to flock to it very easily because they're in love with the ultimate conveniency. They're in love with the ultimate convenience of this beast system, this beast world that we live in. They're not going to just give up their everyday goings and their functionalities, their normal functionalities that they have in this life they're just not going to give it up. They're not going to put the Lord first. They're going to choose to comply. They're going to choose to comply so they can go supermarket shopping, shop for clothes in the mall, travel, drive from state to state, get medical care, braces and stuff like that, simple stuff like that. Go on TikTok, because even platforms such as those are going to require you to have a certain level of information on there so they can track and monitor you more, right? So it goes on to say, ease and effortlessness, it implies that something can be done, accessed, or used with minimal work, time, or thought, right? So they're gonna package it in the way of, oh, this is as she said in the video, this is a step towards, you know, national security or some bullshit she said. So they're gonna make it seem, as if it makes things easier, in a sense, because everything is on one cloud, everything is in one place, but it's not to help you. That's a snare, that's a trap. So that's why I read Psalms 141, to point out that jinn, that trap, the devices that they use, these tactics that these Edomites use to trap us, right? Accessibility, it suggests that something is readily available and easily obtainable at the desired time and location, and that's how they're gonna package the whole system. That's how they're gonna get you used to it, because these people, just like COVID-19, C 1999, they they made it so that people didn't have a choice. So it's either you're gonna take this right hook, or we're gonna prevent you from functioning normally in this world. And obviously 99% of people, they folded. Let me say 90% of people folded. They didn't stay firm and trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, or trust that this devil is the wicked, and to refuse his help. Anytime this devil is there saying he's gonna help you, let me get this. This is in the Apocrypha. It's gonna pop up though. This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 17. It says, reads, and if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And this is this devil, man. That's what he does, right? That's how he deceives you. He creates a problem, then he gives you the solution. But he's not doing it to ultimately help you at the end of the day. It's to trap you. It's to get you, under his he already has his foot on our necks. He already has you Israelites under his foot. But the difference is the elect, we know what's happening. We know the devil that we're dealing with, and we know we're this is a spiritual war for us. We're not worrying about Esau, because we have Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We know it ultimately, in the end, the victory is ours. The victory has already been had. We just have to live out the rest of this movie. We have to do our parts in enduring and having faith, and ultimately being, subject to our chains of darkness, because we really don't know if we're going to make it. The Lord knows these things. If you're of the elect, you're of the elect. If you're going to be delivered, you're going to be delivered. But none of us know. That's the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's why I said we're just living in the movie. We know how the movie's going to end, but we don't know for ourselves, if we're going to make it or not, because we have to ultimately see if the Lord keeps the spirit on us, being of the hopeful elect, if we're going to make it. So going back to this, suitability, Salaki, it says, it indicates that something is perfectly aligned with one's needs, preferences, providing the optimal experience. And this is what people are in love with, no matter what. Especially these wicked women, man. You Israelite women, man. Eve, other tribes as well. You're in love with this world and the comfortability of this world, the convenience of things. You wanna go on girls trip. You wanna go shopping for things. You wanna work in these high paying jobs that Esau gives you and live deliciously. you're not going to give that up because you have this mindset of independence. Oh, I don't need no man. So in order for you to feed that agenda, that demon, to keep feeding that demon, you're gonna take what this devil is giving you, because you women cannot survive without conveniency, without comfortability. You when shit hits a fan, you women are gonna go straight back to your nature and how things are supposed to be. You're gonna be in that weak state that that really reflects your nature. In this society, you can hide behind, false sense of realities and stuff like that, because that's all these women live by. They live by a lot of delusions, because in this world you have men that they amplify women to behave how they behave and support it. So that's the only reason why there is that false sense of reality, because it's not really true. But this is the world that these women live in. They don't value men. Esau, that's what Esau did. Esau empowered the woman, our woman, to weaken us. He gives them more opportunity. And actually now, in this day and age, it's getting worse for these women. They're losing out more and more now. They're not getting as much jobs as they used to. Things are getting harder for them. Men are catching up to their bullshit, leaving them where they are. So it's actually getting worse for them, actually. So, and call Allah Yahweh Hashem Shai for that, man, because these women need to be judged, right? And it says freedom from discomfort, right? So that's what they're gonna run from, the discomfort. They do not do well with discomfort. They flee, they run away, because Babylon has given them that support, right? That familiarity with having things easy, creating this queendom, for them, right? And it says it means being free from any physical or mental strain, hassle, or inconvenience. They do not cope well with these things, and that's what's coming to this world. You're gonna be faced with the option to go with Yahweh Shemiel Shai, which half of these people don't know who Yahweh Shemiel Shai is, or continue complying with the beast. Now, the national ID is not the mark of the beast. It's not wicked to get it. However, it's leading you into that trap to make that decision. If you're going to let your children starve, you're going to starve, or you're going to just take it. Or you're going to get those implants. Well, it's just an implant. What's the worst that could happen? We already have different stuff. I already have a nose piercing, a septum piercing. So, what's the worst that a device on my skin could do? This is how people are gonna lie to themselves and tell them, no. Well, just like in the C 1999, they did it. Some people say, I did it because I didn't want to lose my job, or I wanted to see my kids, blah blah blah. It's gonna be all kind of different excuses, because these people are not spiritual. And then the next one says maximum comfort. It suggests that the situation or service provides the most comfortable and enjoyable experience possible. So it's gonna be an option of discomfort or comfort. And majority of these people, you Israelites, you're gonna lean to the side of comfort. Oh, I don't want my woman to starve. I don't want her to leave me. These other men are getting the MOTB. I can't make a MOTB, maybe lose my woman or lose my children. That's the mindset that these people are gonna have, right? And the rest goes into everything else, man. Restaurants, banking, a home that is designed with smart technology. These people like to move with the times. So that's that, man. As it says, if it were possible, they shall deceive the elect, but it's not possible, right? So let me just get this and close off, man. This is what this is all leading to. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And it says, And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that mark is the mark, that's the Greek word charagma, which means, to cut into your flesh. It's a physical mark, right? Or surgery into your head, which is a physical mark to put a device in you so you can buy or sell. Verse 17 says it says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, that his number is 666. And that's what's coming to you people, man. Let me get it here. Grieve Slovakia. I even know how to spell it in this sense. Anyway, it was 16. So this is a judgment, man. This is part of this is what I wanted to get. Revelation 16, and I'll close. This is Revelation chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth." That's a judgment. The wrath of Yahweh Hashem Shai is going to be poured onto the earth to destroy you people that have the mark. "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." And that grievous sore is going into the after effects of the implants. The reaction from your body, your skin, your flesh. When you go into that word sore, a wound, especially a wound producing discharge, pus, a sore, right? And that's the word
Strong's G 1668. Helkas.
Helkas. So you're gonna have Helkas. You're gonna be many people that have Helkas, man. Have grievous sores. Right? And verse 3 says, "And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angels of the water say, Thou art righteous, O Yahweh, which art, and what wast, and shall be, because thou hast judged us. For they have shed the blood of the saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy." Right. "And I heard another out of the altar say, Even so, Yahweh Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments. And the fourth angel poured out his vials upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire." Right, so that's what's coming to you people, man. Fire, torment, right? "And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of Yahweh, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory." And it's a fearful thing to be put in a situation like that. And a lot of you people are walking dead women and men, man. You're walking corpse. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead people walking. because you have no clue of these things. You continue to live in this society like this society is righteous and good, and that it's gonna profit you, and oh, God loves me for me, oh, God understands my heart. No, 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 no. Yahweh Shemel Shai is gonna destroy you because you don't put him first. You don't meditate upon him and his words, because ultimately you're of the 2/3, right? Because the righteous, the elect, the hopeful elect will be meditating on these things, will be praying to be delivered from these things, whilst you wicked people are gonna, indulge in this world until you're destroyed, because you are in love with the ultimate conveniency. You're in love with being comfort. You're in love with being, yeah, you're in love with comfort. You're in love with easy access, ease of life, comfortability. You're in love with the idea of the ultimate conveniency. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rukahak Wadash, Shalom.
Can't travel.
Reminder, all riders must verify digital identity before boarding.
Can't breathe in society
I'm sorry, sir. We can't proceed without verification.
unless you bear the symbol. You see, when the mark of the beast is introduced, the Antichrist will make life without it so difficult that many will simply cave into the pressure. People will feel the pressure from society to conform.
James Carter, please follow me to room 4.
You will see a desperate longing in the faces of people who just want life to return to normal. They simply want to be able to buy and sell freely. They want to work, socialize, and cling to whatever freedom they once had. The price to pay for this? A simple mark on the forehead or on the right hand.
Today marks a historic step forward in our national security. Let's go live to reporter Sarah Martinez at the Registration Center downtown.